Hey, GLP-1 plus size community. Before we jump into the podcast, please take the time to leave us a 5-star review on whatever audio platform you're listening to the podcast on. Share your story and how the podcast has helped you. This will help us get referred up in the audio platform so that we can reach more people that need our help, our support, and guidance from our doctors. Help us get loud and change things.
Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault.
Hey everyone, before we dive in, I really want to share something personal with you. About, I want to say like 8 to 10 months ago, after losing 100 pounds on GLP-1s and keeping it off for a long time, I started regaining out of nowhere, and I was terrified. But I also started having hot flashes and bouts of crying and snacky cravings and waking up at 3 a.m. unable to go back to sleep. It turns out I was in perimenopause. So I started hormone replacement therapy, which is also called HRT, through a telehealth called Winona that specializes in this. And it changed everything. And now I'm sleeping better. And my hot flashes are all but gone, thank God. And I feel like myself again. And it turns out that you can actually start perimenopause as early as 35. And well, I'm 46 and she's here. HRT has really come a long way and there's just no need to suffer anymore. So if you're like this and you're in the same boat, you can check out buywinona.com and you can use the link in our link tree to save some money.
Want the fastest working GLP-1? For half the price, Ro now offers FDA-approved weight loss injections cheaper. With results you can see faster. Lose 15% of your weight with the formula from Eli Lilly that hits not one, but 2 hormones to curb hunger and nausea. Weight loss faster. Confidence higher. Price cheaper. See if you qualify at ro.co/TV.
Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together. The Plus Sides Podcast, because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. welcome to the Plus Sides Podcast.
But you gave us, kind of a good segue because we were, I did have a question about mental health.
You're
This
right. I did that on
goes into
purpose.
it.
It was a segue.
So, yeah.
It was me. It was all me.
Yeah. So let's talk about mindset and how you help your patients with mindset and mental health while on their journey.
So that's an important
Good
point.
segue.
And it's funny when me as the MD, the paternalistic medicine that we're used to, when I actually sit down and speak to my patients and I start talking about mindset, about connection, I see they look at me weird. They're not used to a provider, a healthcare provider, to talk about this. Again, we need to look at the whole person.
It all starts up here. Yeah.
And mindset, I did a lecture one time and I said, what's the most important tool to help with weight loss? People would say keto diet, appetite suppressants, all this. I said, it's your mindset. Until you change your mindset, that is the most important determinant of what's going to help you there. But mindset is not set in stone. Like you were saying, Kim, you're a badass in everything.
I am a badass.
When it comes to like relationship with
We're
our food, yes, relationship with our food, this is the one part that is sometimes so difficult. And there's so much emotion tied to this, so much bias against weight that it makes it so difficult. And as you said, why heavier people tend to be more entrepreneurial, because they have grit. They have to develop this resilience into, although people are looking at them differently, they feel it inside and they stand back up. So for me, mindset is one of the most important things. And the way I like to explain mindset, I heard Abraham Hicks explain something and it made so much sense to me. Because it's easy to say, mindset, get up, stay positive, think positive thoughts. But we have to realize that balance is something that our Western mind cannot take very easily. Paradoxical thinking, right? Polarity, two different sides. So the mindset I try to coach my patients on is, how do you find the balance between satisfaction, loving yourself right here, right now? You're amazing right here, right now. But at the same time, having an eagerness to get better. Not saying, I will be better when ... right?
Yeah.
I will be better when I lose the weight. I will be better when I'm fit in that dress. I will be better. So much of this. How do you find that balance into thinking you're amazing, you're worth it, you're enough, you're great, and you love yourself right now? I don't care how much you weigh. I don't care what kind of job you're doing. I don't care that your partner lost you, left you. I don't care what it is in your life. You're amazing right this second. But while you're doing this, you're eager for what's to come. So that balance of satisfaction and eagerness is the polarity of life we all need to try to live. Yeah. And I think that once our Western mind start understanding that, it's not black or white. We live in that balance in the middle. I love myself, but I'm going to try my darndest to get better. But I'm not going to be better. I'm not going to love myself more when I'm better, because I already love myself.
Yeah.
That's my mind I try to coach.
I love that. I will tell you, and I've talked about on the show before, I got really emotional when you were talking about that, but I remember having this moment when the emotional connection to food severed for me like a cord. And I remember the moment, and I remember thinking, what am I going to do? How am I going to soothe? And I remember this thought, maybe I'm enough.
Ooh.
I am.
Goosebumps.
Right? But I never could make those connections that other people could make so that they could change those mindsets. It literally was not possible. Yeah. But as soon as things were righted hormonally, however you want to look at it, right? All of a sudden, those little willpowery things just connected, and everything changed, So it was incredible. I've totally experienced that. It's awesome.
Amazing.
Thank you.
And Rosie O'Donnell, I think, is the first one who talked about this, the food noise. How
she was on our show. Did you know that?
No way.
Yes.
When she talked about this, I'm like, yes, that's the perfect term for it. My patients were trying to explain that. And having that food noise, people can understand that. They're like, every Monday you wake up, okay, you're going to be good this week. You're starting your diet.
Yeah.
But I
Oh
want ice cream.
gosh,
Oh, you
yes.
can't do this. Oh, what am I having for lunch? Oh, that pizza looks good. Oh no, you need
Yeah.
to eat salad. And then it keeps
Yeah.
going and it going and going. And as you said, that emotional connection, when you
Yeah.
have that freedom, you know what I call Mounjaro? Mounjaro hope. Because it gives you
Yeah.
that eventually
Mounjaro
It
hope.
get
does.
control of this weird connection. Why are we so addicted? There was again, I'm going to age myself. That was maybe 25 years ago. There was a Time magazine, and the picture was the picture of a rat, and there was an Oreo cookie and a bag of cocaine. And it showed
Oh,
you
wow.
that,
I remember that picture.
that
Yeah.
sugar is more addictive to the brain than cocaine.
Mm.
How crazy is
Is
this?
it about Oreos? I swear to God, they're crack. They come up on every friggin' episode.
That's why.
I'm telling you.
That's why there's Overeaters Anonymous. Food is a mind-altering substance.
It
Yes.
is.
And I, yes, have had Halloween candy today, and it felt great. Just
Yeah.
I
I feel nothing about food anymore. It's very weird.
You know, I've had
Very
patients
weird.
tell me, you took the one pleasure away that I had in my life. I'm like, well, that
You
should
need
not have
pleasures.
been your best pleasure. Go look for something else.
That's right.
Food anhedonia. Anhedonia, meaning you no longer get pleasure from this thing. And I'm like, this is a good thing. You know, I'm a foodie. I love food also. But, you know, what this does for it helps you do everything in moderation. Again, this
100%.
all the way there, middle way. We need to start getting more into that way of thinking.
Agreed.
Not,
Yeah.
you know, dieters and people who
Restriction.
suffer with having weight issues tend to have the all or none mentality.
Yes.
Say that I'm on a diet, I'm exercising 3 times a week, I can't have this, I don't do any of this, I do 2 months like this, then I go all the way to the other side. I let everything.
Yeah.
How do we live in the middle? And
Yeah.
this medication is helping us get
Yeah, it totally is.
and be okay with
Like
it.
no matter, I totally agree. It's like just because you have a chronic medical disease, especially when there are treatments, does not mean that you don't deserve to have a rich, full life. You do. And there are so many things to fill it, you know? But when everything is quiet, it's amazing what you can do. It really is. I keep starting businesses though. I probably should stop.
You're
You know,
just transferring.
It's okay.
At least they're positive and they're not hurting me.
One thing that I've
I'm a little
realized,
tired.
there is a bias against weight, right? When you go medical sliding, you go to the medical community, we see somebody heavy, automatically we think unhealthy. Well, you can be heavy and healthy or skinny and sick.
Yeah.
So one doesn't determine the other. So I had to learn to go against my bias because I was trained in the conventional medical way. And really spending time with, as you said, those resilient people who've had to deal with weight issues their whole life, you really see like the spirit is there and there's such fight in them that I honor that spirit. And when we see them blossom, oh my God, that is the best part of my day.
Yeah. That is super cool. That is very cool.
Oh, look,
Sorry, JT. We're like just kind of went all in your questions. Well, all up in your questions. Go ahead, JT.
look, no, all I'm doing is just sitting back and I'm just thankful because everything that you're saying and you have explained things like I've never heard them explained before. And that's why I'm listening more.
Yeah.
Because, and like, people ask me, and I never really was a big drinker. I was a social drinker, but I can't even describe it. And I don't really talk about it that much because I'm like, I know it sounds crazy. I don't even want it. Like the thought of it, like of brown, like Jack Daniels and Uncle Nearest. Oh, look, with some Coke. Oh, yeah. But now I'm like, no. And it doesn't make me excited anymore. I'm just like, yeah. Now I'm learning more about mocktails. That's like making me excited. I'm like,
I still like wine.
Me too.
I love it for you. But I mean, like,
I still like going to wineries.
I know you do. It's a hobby. It's a hobby.
I go
get it.
to a winery and still like drink. I like had champagne
on my flight, but it was just like, oh, okay. But I find that it's lighter. Like the things that I want are lighter, if that makes sense. It's just
moderation.
lighter.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. Yeah.
And
It's
100%, you know,
lighter.
like, as I said, it's the goal is not, we can never be 100% staying away from quote unquote, you know, we all have a little sweet, guilty pleasure. And that's fine. It's in moderation. If I love wine, you love wine, you go there. But when you notice with the GLP-1, and eventually even when you come off the GLP-1, because that connection has lost, you don't need to overindulge. And it's not the actual substance. A lot of times it's the entourage of being with friends, going to the winery,
The
looking at
experience,
this
yeah.
beautiful glass. It's not about drinking 8 glasses. You can have the same amount of fun with 1 or 2.
Sometimes I'm just
Make it
kidding.
completely different. And I'm going to go into a little bit into the science with this. And this is where we don't understand the GLP-1s completely. So GLP-1s work in the gut, but they found GLP-1 and GIP receptors in the brain. And it's in the dopamine release. Dopamine is the reward neurotransmitter. So that's why we see that it almost uncouples the dopamine release with a lot of our oral fixation. That's why we see that we get less pleasure from food, less pleasure from alcohol. A lot of people are reporting anecdotally, they don't want to smoke as much. They don't want to vape as much. There's even some reports that people don't want to gamble as much. It's really is that overstimulation of dopamine that is so prominent in our society that this medication, we're going to find out more and more about it. But we hear people all day long saying this. You can't put it into words sometimes. But a lot of times when I see somebody like, yes, he's right. Yes. Oh my God, I did feel that. It is the dopamine uncoupling to a lot of our bad habits.
Quick pause here. I've had moments on my GLP-1 journey where insurance changes or rising costs force me to look for a new provider. And honestly, that process can feel very overwhelming. But that's why the Plus Sites podcast is partnered with GLP Winner to give our subscribers a resource to help them make that decision easier. GLP Winner is a comparison platform that lets you explore telehealth providers in all 50 states, whether you're looking for brand name medications or compounded options. You can see pricing up front, read reviews, and get a clear picture of which provider might align best with your needs. Check it out today at glpwinner.com/plus-sides. That's glpwinner.com/plus-sides. Don't forget the Z. Let me tell you a quick story. I was telling Kat how I was regaining weight after my 100-pound loss using GLP-1 medications, and I was having snacky cravings and waking up at 3 a.m., and I had hot flashes, and I was worried. But Kat was like, listen, I went through this last year. It's perimenopause, and I started HRT, and she used this company called Winona. So I started going there to see if this was something that was going with me. Turns out it was, because I'm 46. And it's been amazing. It's taken a while to find the right dose, but once I did, it's just been huge. I've been sleeping. I feel more myself again. And the hot flashes are gone, which is, geez, really bad. So I will tell you, it's just been so big for me. And so I wanted to partner with them on the podcast because obviously many of our listeners are going through the same age range and definitely are having these issues. And there's just no need for you to suffer. So if you go to the link that's in our link tree, you can click on that and save money. If you go there and you meet all the criteria, this might be something for you to try. So I just want to make sure you had this great resource because it's just been such a big difference for me and Kat. Again, you can go to the link in our link tree and get what you need.
"20 seconds a week to lose 20% of your weight in a year with diet and exercise. That's the power of GLP-1s through Ro. Ro helps find the medication that's right for you, based on cost, availability, and your weight loss goals. Losing weight with GLP-1s is possible through Ro.
And that is major. That is major. And I know that, just to kind of piggyback off of that, but many of us in, the GLP community, women in particular, are getting close to that certain age of life where you're going to experience menopause. I'm actually in menopause now. I just crossed over from perimenopause to menopause. So do we know if GLP-1 medications are also helpful in supporting the hormonal changes that many women experience? And are there any changes that we can make in activity and diet that can help us as well?
Great question. And one of the best uses for GLP-1 medication is for menopausal weight gain, because menopause is such a difficult transition that women go through. It changes the woman's personality, it changes your figure. You start accumulating fat places you never accumulated before. Your personality changes. You get more emotional. It's a difficult thing. And a lot of times, one of the most distressing things for women is the weight gain. And it's the visceral weight gain, the belly fat gain that we see with this. Nothing. Again, they haven't done studies, long-term studies on it, but anecdotally, again, I've been using Mounjaro since 2021, Ozempic 2017, Saxenda 2012, 2014. So I've seen the changes. Saxenda and Victoza weren't that great for weight loss. Really, it's been Ozempic and Mounjaro that made the whole difference. But in menopausal women, one of the first symptoms, it's weight gain. It's a slowing of your metabolism. And again, medical gaslighting. You'll go and see your doctor. They'll check your labs and they're like, oh, you're not in menopause, you're in the perimenopause. Just eat less and exercise. No, one of the first changes is that your body does not process calories the same way, and you start accumulating fat in different places. GLP-1 medications work amazing for this. And I'm going to give you another tip for women going through menopause. The use of therapeutic testosterone in women is amazing and underutilized. So the first thing that women lose as they start going into menopause is their testosterone production. Then they lose their progesterone. That's why you tend to get hot at night, you don't sleep as well, you get those hot flashes, and you wake up, you're tired. But testosterone is the first one, and women going through menopause will tell you that. I'm exhausted. My overall sense of well-being is not the same. Libido decreases, enjoyment of sex decreases, and this is testosterone. And insulin-resistant and visceral fat decreases testosterone, whether it's in men or women. So for a lot of my women going through menopause, first we go on GLP-1, semaglutide or tirzepatide, but I do labs, and if I see that there's a decrease in your testosterone production, combining testosterone with tirzepatide, mostly Mounjaro, because that's my favorite one, it's a miracle combo, because now you can maintain muscle mass, you increase energy, you increase well-being, and the GLP-1 does its magic. So it's not for everyone. You need to have lab tests done, but in the right situation, that combination is magical.
Wow. Thank you.
I know. I talk a lot.
Man,
I'm
that's
sorry.
so cool. No, this
Yeah,
isn't a
like,
talk show.
whoa.
It's fine.
Yeah, no.
Anytime someone fusses at me, I'm like, if you don't like it, fast forward.
Let me tell you about another hormonal condition that women are suffering with, and we didn't have any good answer. PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. It is actually the most common endocrine disturbance in women. This is when the ovaries are making too much testosterone at a younger age. So women like this, and it starts at a very young age, and there's an increased incidence. We're seeing more and more women having this, which we think it's part of our toxic modern world with the endocrine disruptors. Women are getting their first period and their breast buds at an earlier age. And what you'll see a lot of women, the symptoms of PCOS are usually irregular periods, hirsutism, starting to have a little bit of hair, either in the chin, around the abdomen area, weight gain. So those are the things we usually see. And when you do a blood test, you see their testosterone level is higher. When a woman has a higher testosterone level with PCOS, they're hungry. They can't control their appetite. So they'll go to the doctor. They'll tell them, well, eat less and exercise. Eat less carbs. High testosterone makes you crave carbs. And the first reflex of the medical community, the only treatment we used to have is to throw synthetic birth control pills, which is the wrong thing to do. It increases your risk of depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, pancreatitis, blood clots, DVT-PE with the synthetic pills. GLP-1s are going to become the mainstay, the gold standard for PCOS, because the main problem with PCOS is insulin resistance. What works great for insulin resistance? GLP-1s, right? So if anybody's listening to this and you have PCOS, another treatment they give a lot for that, it's metformin. Not everybody can tolerate metformin. We have better treatments now. I think a GLP-1 should be the first thing we talk about when somebody's dealing with PCOS.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like, I wish, like, I remember I was having all those things, all of them. And when I went to the doctor, they said, well, it's because you are fat, like, and you carry
Can I say I'm sorry?
estrogen in your fat cells. So if you lose weight, that will get better. Never, ever did they measure my waist. Never, ever did they do labs. Nothing. They didn't ever check my nothing. It was, you need to go lose weight. You have too much estrogen that are hanging out in your fat cells and you'll be fine. Never.
On behalf
All
of
these
the
years.
community, Kim, I want to say I'm sorry, but it made you that amazing person that you are today. Because
That's true.
Right?
I am a badass. That is
Yeah.
I just think that everybody, like, especially we have like women that are starting to watch the show. I'm noticing they're in their 20s. And like, I just really encourage you, like, in this moment, like, take this as a sign to ask for labs. Take this. If you're having any of these things, they can identify it. Like, it's harder. And sometimes it takes up to 5 years to be able to diagnose. It's getting better and better, but we've had endocrinologists on the show that have talked about it. But if you ask for it now, then you can maybe identify it and maybe have more children, which I didn't get to, or maybe have children at all, which many of my friends weren't able to because they had this and people just let it go. So ask, advocate for your health, question your doctors. It's okay.
And
anyway,
I say to all my patients, don't be afraid to fire your doctor. If you're not happy,
I tell people to fire them all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If you're not happy, you're not getting the right answer, fire your doctor.
And tell them why, right?
Yes.
Tell them
Maybe
why.
they'll learn. I learned. Yeah. I've never, I've learned every encounter with my patients. I learn. And I've been, I have to say, especially earlier in my career when I was working the hospital, we were busy.
Yeah.
I'm sure I gaslit some people, but I've learned from all this. I've learned from this. A more compassionate physician and human being. And we recognize that medicine should not be the paternalistic medicine that it used to be. It's no longer a man sitting with a big white coat saying, take this, don't ask me questions, see you next year. This is a partnership. And I encourage my patients to become their own chief medical officer. You are the chief medical officer of your own enterprise, and then you hire the right people around you to get you to the best health possible.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I love it.
That's awesome.
No doubt.
Hey, Kat, I wanted to include one question for you, and I know it's kind of out of order, but just take
Are you? Yeah.
There's a question that you wrote that I want to make sure you asked. Yeah, controversial.
Our controversial question, only because we're part of like I know that a lot of doctors have advised against intermittent fasting if you suffer from an eating disorder or binge eating. But for those in our GLP-1 community that don't suffer from BED, what are some of those benefits? Are you a cheerleader for intermittent fasting? I myself, I would end up in the danger zone. I think if I did that. However, there are a lot of people in the community that don't suffer from that. So I felt like we need to touch on that.
Hey, great. We should talk about it.
Fasting. Great question. And I'm a big proponent of fasting because when you think about our evolution as a species, as Homo sapiens, we always did this. How did our ancestors used to eat? You go hunting, you kill something, you eat it, and you wait for your next kill. Could be 12 hours, 24 hours. It's only recently that we started seeing eat every 3 hours, which is the wrong thing to do because you always keep your insulin levels high. So to me, it is, as you said, Kat, it can be a trigger for some people who've dealt with eating disorders, and we have to be very careful with this. But for the people who don't have as a trigger, and like Kat, I love how open you're about talking about this, and you know yourself. You know that if you go down that route, you may fall back into that dangerous zone. But in general, it's a healthy way of eating because you need your body to rest sometimes for your digestion to take place. If we're always eating, we're always secreting, we're getting our pancreas overstressed, we're getting our digestive system overstressed. So a period of fasting has a lot of evolutionary benefits. And for women specifically, you don't want to do too much fasting, and you really want to look also at your cycle because you don't want to be fasting too much when you're getting closer to your period. That's why women tend to have more cravings when it's closer to their period. It's an evolutionary benefit where your body, if you're going to get pregnant, you want more calories. So you have to also follow the cycles. But overall, some kind of intermittent fasting tends to be on the healthier side. Or whether you do a 16 or 8, a 12 and 12, there's another fasting program called the 5 and 2, where 2 days out of the week, you eat fewer calories. So all of those techniques are good, but you have to be careful that this doesn't put you into that danger zone, like you said.
Right.
It's really interesting. I think I kind of accidentally, because of the way the medicine works, do a lot of kind of accidental fasting on the first few days.
Yeah.
And then as the medicine wears, I never overeat. But as the medicine wears, I'm more of like a weekly calorie goal person instead of like a daily one. I think I might be doing that on accident. It seems to be okay. So maybe I'll look at it a little bit more and see if I can do it intentionally.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I actually preach a lot this fasting diet. And I'm going to do a little plug-in here.
People need to know. We have to talk about it. Yeah.
We came up and we have an online program called TideDiet.com, because a lot of people go and get their prescription for their primary care physician. And if they're not lucky to find a supporting ensemble like you ladies, so
we're
we
right
have
here.
TideDiet.com. And one of the fasting programs we preach is called the 5 and 2, where 2 days of the week, you eat less, 500, 600, 800 calories. And you tend to do it the first 2 days after your shot, because these are the 2 days where you have the gastric, the way those medications work.
Right.
Reduces your digestive process, delays gastric emptying. So the first 2 days are the type of days where you tend to be more symptomatic if you're going to have them. Those first 2 days are the days where you want to avoid fatty foods, processed foods. I tell people, do a lot of soups, hot broth, hot teas, hot liquids tend to get easier. So the first 2 days are almost naturally, you tend to eat less because that's when your appetite is best controlled. If you do that even more intentionally, you kind of make a dent into your weekly calories by focusing more on the first 2 days, because it's a little easier.
Yeah.
So look at you, Kim. You knew that.
Yeah, I just didn't.
There was a name to this.
Right.
I did it. I was like, I do that. I don't mean to.
Yeah.
But what's good news about it is that I do have a binge eating disorder, and it has not triggered that for me. So that's a big deal.
Yeah.
But if I do go too long, if I'm one of those people that like wait all day to eat and then it's the end of the day, then I will not binge, but I will overeat. And then feel awful. Right. Or so I've noticed things like that. I've also noticed that like if I can become more regularly, which I've recently discovered black Jamaican castor oil. I don't know what it is. It just makes me go to the bathroom. And if I can go to the bathroom every day, then I can get more calories in and then I can lose more weight. This is fascinating. And yes, I'm selling it on TikTok Shop and I am not ashamed.
Because that's something we need to talk about. We're talking about positives of the medication. We have to talk about the side effects.
We do.
Constipation is one of them. And it slows down everything. We've had patients develop hemorrhoids, fissures, or not going. It's just not natural. So exactly. Castor oil. My wife is Jamaican. Jamaican castor oil is amazing.
Awesome.
Any castor
It's awesome. Sorry.
Magnesium citrate. We tend to be deficient in magnesium. So getting the right amount of magnesium, drinking the right amount of water. I love also even psyllium husk, roughage intestines. So making sure, I have some patients who have the opposites. They have diarrhea when they start the medication. They lose stools also. So that's where you see that this is truly personalized medicine. It's not book medicine, one size fits all. Find yourself a provider that you can really talk to. Find yourself support like this where you can exchange and see what works for you. What works for somebody else may not work for you, but go after it.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think that the main question that I know that I receive, and I know Kim receives, and Kat, and probably Vicki, you see it in the comments, especially from new members to the community, where they're just kind of given a script, and it's just like go out into the wild, and you're trying to navigate everything. And I believe the number one question that we receive is, what do I eat on these medications? And just know, Dr. Rudy, I am a big proponent of functional medicine. And, all of us are, because we believe that Western medicine and functional medicine and Eastern medicine can meet. But that has to be like the burning question for me is, what types of foods are best while you're on a GLP-1 medication?
Definitely. And that's great. And that's a very simple question that sometimes we overlook and that we think people will know.
It's constant.
It's a constant. And it's such a simple thing. Go back to basic nutrition. You want to have a lot of protein. So usually you want about 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight. So usually you're depending on your body weight, 60 to 100, 120 grams of protein. But sometimes when you take those GLP-1s, you can't keep up with your protein intake.
It's hard. Yeah,
right.
That's why I recommend taking protein supplements. One of the products I like is called Perfect Amino. Has the 9 essential amino acids. BCAA are a decent source. Whether you take pea protein, whey protein, but make sure you get enough protein. And of course, you take it from your regular food, right? And when you take in GLP-1s, you're going to see that the cleaner you eat, the better you feel. So go for good quality protein. Get farm-raised, antibiotic-free protein, like free-range chicken, grass-fed beef, whole wild salmon. Like I like a lot of the smaller fish because you want to, the sardines, the smaller fish, so you can get omega-3s, stay away from mercury. So you want to get your protein from whole foods, from real foods, and maybe supplement with some kind of protein supplements because it may be hard for you to get this.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
The second thing to think about, it's some kind of greens, vegetables, salads, and experiment. Do colorful foods. Now that you don't have this, that your mind can think clearer, you'd be surprised when you take those medications, foods that you didn't think you would enjoy. You start enjoying healthier foods more. And this, I always tell people, we can eat carbs on this. We've been always told that carbs are the enemy, they are the worst thing ever. We need healthy carbs. And where we get our healthy carbs are from the great vegetables, good salads, complex carbs like whole sweet potato, whole wheat bread, brown rice. And even if you like white rice, you like those, the carbs are always the smallest thing in your plate. You fill your plate with greenery, with colorful food, and then you get good sources of protein. I tell people it is as simple as this, but it is as complicated as this. Because when you put that into everyday practice, when you sometimes in a food desert, all you have around you is fast food. You're too tired to cook. Uber Eats becomes your best friend. Yeah. It's difficult, but you can still make good choices at all those places. So very basic and simple like this, it's as much. And of course, don't forget to drink enough water. We tend not to drink enough water. Get enough electrolytes. A lot of times I see people drink a lot of water, don't use enough salt. If you don't have a blood pressure problem, a little bit of Himalayan salt goes a long way. So
just discovered Himalayan salt. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Great. It is. Yeah. So great question. And I feel like nutrition, it's a very simple science, but it's very misunderstood and misrepresented. So we need to go back to basics. We eat whole foods. We try to stay away from the middle of the supermarket. You try to not buy a lot of things in boxes, buy a lot of things that are man-made. You try to eat as natural and whole foods as possible. And then you'll see that, especially if you're on a GLP-1, your taste will change. So
my whole palate is different. It's totally different.
So explore new things, Mediterranean diet. Mediterranean food is amazing. Good olive oil, right? Good food. You can eat carbs with this. So explore different diets and different tastes, different textures. You'll be surprised. And now that your mind is not just thinking, I want ice cream, you have room to really explore new diet, new taste.
Yeah.
So true. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rudy. Vicki, did you have anything that you wanted to ask Dr. Rudy while we're sitting here talking? Or do you feel like he answered all the things?
He's answered all the things. Awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Right?
Good.
Very good.
Awesome.
I'm going to go back to the mindset because I feel like after nutrition, mindset are like this. Make sure you practice self-love. You practice radical acceptance, radical forgiveness. Forgive yourself for everything that you've done. Forgive the doctors who gaslit you. Don't hold
Forget the
resentment.
doctors. Yeah.
Let go. Let go and go after the best version. It's there now.
Ooh,
Yeah,
look,
that's true. I think the forgiveness of the doctors is really, really difficult for so many missed opportunities.
Yeah. But
It's really, really hard. It's
the
really
only
hard.
power you have is now. You don't
Yeah.
have power in the
Yeah.
past. You don't have
Indeed.
power in the future. Your power is now.
Yeah.
You know, regain your self-love, regain your confidence. Don't let anybody dictate the course of your life. You have power over this. And it took a tool like GLP-1s a lot of time to bring it back. Use that tool, but recognize that you're enough, you're amazing, and you can rock it.
Yes.
I can rock it.
I love it. Well, that was a lovely way to end our segment. Thank you so much. I really appreciate both of you joining and helping us trying to change
Thank
things.
you.
We don't
Thank
know,
you.
like we legitimately do not know what we are doing, but it seems to be helping. Like, and what I mean by that is like, we don't know. We're just trying to talk about things that people don't want to talk about. Like they're controversial or there's so much misinformation. And I get so many messages that tell me like how much this means to them. You know, like even if this is just a little podcast that's got, 10,000, people that listen to it, like honestly,
Yeah.
the community, the people care. And they're like, I don't feel alone. And I feel like I can learn. And I feel like it's a safe place to be able to talk about these things that like I can't talk about in my life because of the way things are, especially in this country, So thank you for being a part of it. It's hard sometimes for me, like especially when I see so much desperation and people lost and confused and blaming themselves to think that we're not doing enough. But I find more and more people are willing to contribute to the conversation and be a part of a movement. And I'm very thankful for you guys taking me, you coming and educating us, and Vicki, you coming and being vulnerable. Like a lot of healing can come from that. So thank you so much for joining us today, both of you.
Thank you,
I
guys.
appreciate
Thank
it
you. Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you. And
You help make
it's
the
such an
podcast.
honor for me to be with such fighters and grassroots fighters who are really disseminating this. Sometimes I feel lost. I'm in my clinic and I just discovered TikTok and social media. I never used to be on it, but I'm trying to do this more because we need to talk about this. Let me paint a picture of the world for you, right? Let's think about maybe in the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, that GLP-1s now, those insurance companies realize how great they are. And 70% of Americans are overweight, 40% are obese. So let's say that 70% of Americans who need to be on it get that medication covered by insurance. Do you know what kind of world we'd be living in if we get there?
A much kinder, healthier, more empathetic world with less
Much
fighting.
more.
Yes. It's going to
Less
happen.
fighting.
So much more. Yes, yes, yes.
Let's fight.
Yeah. Right? I think that would be incredible. I like it. Let's manifest, y'all.
Mounjaro. Mounjaro.
Yes. Mounjaro, exactly. All right. Thank you guys so much. We're going to close out the
Thank
show.
you.
Okay. All right.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so much,
ladies.
Dr. Rudy. Thank you,
Thank
Vicki.
you.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yay.
Oh my gosh.
It was a good show. Lots of learning,
Mounjaro.
lots of healing,
Love it.
I love it. I think it's like, we every time we have someone come on, like from Dr. Albert to Dr. Rudy, like we have all these different perspectives, and like JT even said it, like she was like, hey, we I've never heard anybody say it like that before, right? And that's what's so important about having a very diverse, set of specialists come on the show. They don't all have to be doctors, right? They don't have to all be obesity specialists. But if they specialize in some sort of area where they're able to contribute to the conversation and what we're trying to accomplish, then I think it's essential that they're a part of it. And I'm just really glad that we're expanding, as someone who's always been obese, to be like, I
You
have a
don't put it
health and
together.
wellness podcast.
That was my struggle for the longest time.
Yes.
That
Really?
I felt like
Yeah.
I did not have an authoritative stance, even though like I worked out so much. and
Yeah.
I knew what to do. I did not feel like I had an authoritative stance because of the
Yeah.
way I looked. But
I saw you ladies as authorities, honestly, because I said, wait a minute, they have all of these experiences.
Yeah.
And it's not like you're speaking of it because, oh, well, I know someone. No,
Yeah.
you've lived it, and you've lived to tell the tale
Yeah.
of it. And I believe our community always looked at you all as authorities. Always.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I
I hope
think
that Janine
it's
sees Janine
a
in
lot of
your
times it's how you see
Say
yourself.
what?
Like, and I,
as
you
the
know,
Janine. You are an
the
authority on the Janine.
journey.
No,
Yeah,
but
because you are the journey. Yeah.
Look.
Hallelujah. Man, Dr. Rudy's just as evangelical as we are, right?
I
love
never
it.
thought that I would meet a clinician that was as evangelical.
so
as we
excited.
are.
Yes.
He's
And
just
you know
as
what?
excited. Yeah.
I had a thought on this, and this is just go with me on this. Okay.
Sure. I can do
I
it.
see a similarity. So back in the early 2000s, late 90s, the music industry was about to experience it falling apart. We had Napster, streaming. The music industry fought it. They fought tooth and nail. They sued people, and they lost. iTunes came out. Everything, these technological companies monetized music.
Yeah.
The music industry didn't. They lost. They missed the bus so hard.
So hard.
I see the similarity in GLP-1s versus like DaVita, insurance. When I call them food companies, or what are they?
Sure.
Yeah,
Menu. I don't know.
Yeah.
Food companies. Yeah.
Nestle and like all
Food
of the,
companies.
but I mean, and just
they're
think
missing the bus right now. They're fighting it like
they're
the music
so
industry did.
missing it.
Yeah.
They're
And the
so
music industry
missing
fell
it.
apart.
And
It's kind of like Toys R Us and like, I mean, sorry, I was going to go back to Toys R Us because I miss it so bad, but it's sort of like Toys R Us and Amazon. Like there's a lot of things like that. Like it's a new day, figure it out. Like, and I hate it because there is no place to go like that anymore. And it was really special. And if they had found other ways to make the experience special where it wasn't just easy to buy the toy, right? Like they didn't, they started having like events in the store and they were fun, right? But it was way too late. It was way too late. And now it's gone, you know,
look,
and it's sad and I miss it.
everything is what? Timing. And you always want to make
Nestle,
sure that you're on the right side of history.
Yeah.
You
So it sounds like
always-
Nestle is they are, from what you hear you say, Nestle
sees
may
it.
be starting to see the opportunity.
Nestle sees it. And I will say, just, last night, I worked, I flew, and I've noticed the evolution of the snack offerings that we offer on the plane.
Interesting.
No more cookies?
That would make a great TikTok.
No more biscottis?
We still have those because they are gluten-free.
I never knew that. They make
Are
great
they?
cheesecake crusts, just FYI.
What? Are they?
Look,
Use them for cheesecake crusts. Don't even use graham crackers.
Yeah. Because I actually had a passenger. I actually had a passenger last night, and we offered 4 snacks. And she was like, you know what? Because the only snack I can eat is the Biscoff cookies because it's gluten-free.
I didn't know they were gluten-free.
I shouldn't have
changed
told you
everything. You shouldn't have.
I shouldn't have told you that.
No.
I shouldn't have told you that.
Because I feel like I'll probably be flying to New York pretty soon.
Well, you know that you can go to the grocery store and you can get them.
Are they the same kind though?
Yeah. Yeah. And
there's no wheat in them. That blows my mind.
Biscoff butter.
Yeah, I bought it like on clearance once or something.
That is addictive. I'm gonna tell you right now, you will just eat it out.
Back to moderation. Everything in moderation, even
you will just eat it out of the jar. But you're right, Kat, and you're right, Kim. I mean, this is such a critical time because you're really at a crossroads. Yeah. Are you going to just look at the bottom line, or are you going to be on the right side of history? Which one are you going to do?
I really think they
These
have to just
record
like
labels
crawl out of
folded.
their butts
They sure
and
did fall.
realize, yeah, like that's the thing is they're gonna. That's the way things are going. And I can't I get where it came from, right? Like I get that it was the current state of affairs is let's try to kick the can down the road and let the diabetics become diabetics on somebody else's plan, on somebody else's dime, right?
Yeah.
We'll just deal with the diabetics that we have. And honestly, even our diabetics weren't always, as we know, treated well or given the best medicine, right? Like they weren't. And something
No.
shifted, and I want to figure out what that is. We need to get another endo on here. Something shifted where insurance companies started covering these things more and more. What was that? What was that thing? We need to figure it out because maybe that's the shift we need for those who struggle on insulin resistance, right? Like on that spectrum.
I
What
think
was it?
that's very interesting because
Legislature.
well,
What was it?
It like
Right?
had to be, I think, appeased, had to have been education
Something.
and advocacy, because if we're
Must have been.
looking now
Was it
at how PBMs, the pressure is so on them now.
Yeah.
But it's taken years. So it's like, where did this start? Because it
Yeah.
didn't just, I mean, like, what like was the pebble that was thrown
Yeah. What was it?
into the water that made the ripple?
I bet Dr. Tumor knows.
She
She has to know.
probably does know.
She
Well,
struggles with
knows
type 2.
everything.
Yeah, she does. Let's ask her. Let's ask
She
her.
knows
I'm going to
everything.
ask her if she knows. Like, what was that? What was that thing? What was it? Legislation? Was it like a bunch of data? Was it activism? What was it that they started covering these expensive medications for those who have type 2? You know,
But
because they're
Was it part of the
a lot of
Affordable
people
Care
have type
Act?
2.
Was it? Did it go
I'm
this
sorry?
way? I don't know. I don't know.
Affordable Health
Yeah.
Care Act, maybe.
But it is still, even
The
for
audacity of hope.
even for a person with type 2 diabetes, I still have to jump through hoops.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And some people still can't get these medications. Even
They still
there's some
can't.
type 2 diabetics that cannot get GLP-1s.
Correct.
There are. I mean, they're the crappy plans, but unfortunately, most of the crappy plans go to the normal people. You
Right.
know, like, I mean, it's awful.
Because
Something's got to change. And God, JT, that one, if y'all have not seen that TikTok that JT did, that was about the difference in price and like all of this bullshittery. I'm sorry, it's right, YouTube. I'm saying it. That goes around, like it was like 50%, 60%, 70%. These medications do not cost what it looks like that they cost.
no, they don't.
It does not.
No.
They do not. Not it's because of all the robbing Peter to pay Paul bullshittery that's going on. It's straight trash. And the fact that we have actually had hearings about this and shit still hasn't why? Fix it now. You know?
And you know what I
People are
think about
literally
it?
unaliving that do not have to. That don't have to
Yeah.
and suffering needlessly. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. It's everybody's problem now. They need to get together and get in a room and figure it out. It's ridiculous. Like you've kicked everybody down the road and the whole freaking country's turning into type 2 diabetics, you know? Sorry. Y'all, I need sleep. Like it's just
I
it
just think
makes
because I
no
know, like
sense.
from COVID, this is from like what my older sister,
Yeah.
Kim, told me. Their pharmaceutical companies are not doing like educational dinners and things like that anymore. So they're not. I guess that spend is not really there.
Yeah.
Per
Let
se.
me tell
So-
you, if Eli Lilly called Dave tomorrow and said, "Come here and educate on this," Dave would be like, "I'll see you in 5 minutes."
Yeah.
He would
No,
take that
2.
job like that.
Look,
that.
2 minutes. And
2 minutes.
I mean, 2 minutes. And literally there,
Yeah.
I saw a TikTok today where someone was driving on the on the expressway in Indianapolis, and there was the Eli Lilly corporate headquarters. And they were like, "What's up, Lilly?" But the fact that we're excited about a drug manufacturer, like
It's crazy.
when
20-year-old me would smack me. They'd be like,
Yeah.
"What are
I
you
just
doing?
can't
You are
get
gonna be a
over
country star."
What was it on our live when I found out that people who worked for Eli Lilly don't get Mounjaro covered in their insurance?
I know.
No,
I know.
not unless you're type 2. If you're type 2, you can, with PA. Yeah, I know. Because I know one of them. She's in our community and she was messaging with me. Our husband works there.
Yeah, it's Look, it's a thing. And the
It's a
buzzword, especially in this open enrollment season, is clinical criteria.
Mhm.
Clinical criteria. That right there's the buzz phrase, because that's how they can loop their way out of covering it.
I can't wait. And then we know that those vials are in
Australia.
Yeah, Australia now.
Mhm.
Because Dave was talking about that, and I know you've seen it too. Like it's a thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, I know we're getting at time. You know how we
Yep.
guys, you know how we do.
We're
You know how we
know.
do.
We're on and on.
We appreciate you who are staying to the end, whose
Yeah, we
names
do.
are Tay and Shell, and like many of our Sabrina, right?
Yeah.
Cherie, all of our like loyal diehards that are staying to the end and listen to us run off
Thank
house.
you.
Love
We
you.
love you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
letting us into your devices and listening to us.
Yes.
No.
And supporting our show. We appreciate it so much. All right, I'm done. What y'all got? What y'all's
Kat.
NSB? What you got, Kat? NSB?
My weight yet again did not move. Sometimes it'll go up, but I said F this because I know I feel smaller. So
You
I
look
walked out
smaller.
of-
Your face.
Yeah,
and
you
like
do.
Here, you're like chiseled, boo.
I
Chiseled.
walked into this office and I
Yeah.
pulled out the measuring tape and I was like, hot damn, down an
Hot
inch
damn.
in my waist
Hot damn.
and my
Yeah,
hip.
girl. Hell
I
yeah.
am losing inches, but the scale is not
Yeah.
going anywhere.
Yeah.
Some of my friends say, well, that's because you need, you're lifting weights and you're gaining weight.
Yeah.
I don't care. I look good.
Yeah, you do.
Look,
Yeah, who
I don't care. I
cares?
look good.
right.
It's about
Don't
health,
care.
not weight. It's about health, not weight, right? It's about how
Okay,
you
good.
and how you feel in your spirit. Like I feel like that's a big part of it, you know?
It is.
What about you, JT? You got anything? You've hit your goal weight. You got
Yeah.
anything new? Yeah.
I met my goal weight, but now I would like to stay within like a 5 to 10 pound range.
Sure.
Thank you, Dr. Fatima. And
Yes.
I think I had said on the live that a pair of large black leggings. I kind of had a little pep in my step in Target.
Yeah.
And they were falling down.
Yeah.
Aw.
You're definitely not wearing a
So-
large. You're like, no, you can't.
No.
So, but I was still fitting large leggings,
Sure.
even like last month. So now it definitely, I'm like, okay, I may need to adjust my size.
Mm-hmm,
And last night in the hotel room, I had my uniform on. I'm still waiting for new uniform pieces.
Yeah.
I'm swimming. I'm literally swimming.
I bet you are.
Yeah.
I will make a video about it, but I'm like, okay, wow.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
So like comparing where I was like in March or April
Yeah.
to where I am now.
Yeah.
And those are my NSVs. And I guess
Awesome.
I do have to start maybe purchasing some other clothing now, which is very hard for me.
I think that's cool. We did a lot of clothes swaps in Nashville, which was really nice. So people got a lot of free, real nice clothes, which is good. So
That's
but I don't know, maybe
awesome.
something. I may just be like size 16, 18 Palooza and just give them away. Just ship them out.
Oh,
I
look.
couldn't sell
Might be
my jeans on.
We could do it at our event in
Yeah, this is the South,
January.
so
Ding,
they're
ding,
about-
ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
I
They're about
saw
to
where
be
you were
dropped off at
going.
Goodwill.
I got it. I picked it up. JT. I was picking up what you putting down. I got it. January clothes swap. We have to have like some sort of space for it. All right. We'll come to an end because I gotta pee and I definitely need to sneeze. So okay.
You have to
Hasta la pasta, and we will see you next week. Ooh,
See ya.
Then join us on the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. triumph, you'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together. The Plus Sides Podcast, because every story deserves to be heard, every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault.
Let me tell you a quick story. I was telling Kat how I was regaining weight after my 100-pound loss using GLP-1 medications, and I was having snacky cravings and waking up at 3 a.m. and I had hot flashes, and I was worried. But Kat was like, listen, I went through this last year. It's perimenopause, and I started HRT, and she used this company called Winona. So I started going there to see if this was something that was going with me. Turns out it was, because I'm 46. And it's been amazing. It's taken a while to find the right dose, but once I did, it's just been huge. I've been sleeping. I feel more myself again. And the hot flashes are gone, which is, geez, really bad. So I will tell you, it's just been so big for me. And so I wanted to partner with them on the podcast because obviously many of our listeners are going through this same age range and definitely are having these issues. And there's just no need for you to suffer. So if you go to the link that's in our link tree, you can click on that and save money. If you go there and you meet all the criteria, and this might be something for you to try. So I just want to make sure you have this great resource because it's just been such a big difference for me and Kat. Again, you can go to the link in our link tree and get what you need. Today's episode is brought to you by Ro, a telehealth platform that's changing the game of GLP-1 access. What sets Ro apart? Ro understands the challenges of navigating insurance hurdles and the skyrocketing prices of GLP-1 medications. That's why they specialize in getting insurance approvals for GLP-1s. And if insurance is a barrier, they go a step further by prescribing brand name zepbound vials for prices close to those of compound GLP-1s. With Ro, you're not just getting a prescription, you're getting a partner in your journey that's helping you access affordable treatment and guiding you every step of the way. Whether it's insurance approvals or cost-effective alternatives, Ro is here to make sure that you get the medication you need. Visit ro.co/plussides with a Z today to see how they can help you take control of your weight management journey with affordable, accessible care. That's ro.co/plussides with a Z, making healthcare work for you. Check out the link in our show notes for more details.
Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Sides Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides Podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault.